Welcome back to Game 3 in this clash between Mysterious Monkeys and Roccat. It all comes down to this as we're ready for the final fight in this series. Now, Roccat once again on blue side, Mysterious once again on red. I said Mysterious. Mysterious Monkeys, there's an animal in there too. You may notice it, logo. Bottom left-hand, middle-ish left-hand corner of your screen. Now I'm on your screen. Welcome. If you're wondering why I'm so frazzled, it's because these games have been insane. Really, that is the appropriate word, and I'm sticking with it. Insane. Yep. They are back and forth. They are incredibly aggressive. There is a team fight every 4 minutes, and whatever the gold lead is.
So Efia's delirious, you're delirious. Yeah. I mean, you ran out of words at the beginning. Luckily, at the beginning and the end of every segment, at least somebody's written some words for us, but we're out of those, so we're off the rails.
But luckily, it's time for Champion Select, so...
Great, something to keep us on track.
The League of Legends gods have gifted us conversation topics, and so far, they're remaining the same as the previous Champion Select. Katarina still being banned away from Cozq, Zach to follow, Rakan as well. Now, personally, if you are a fan of the Mysterious Monkeys, or if you're just wondering what they're going to draft, I would vote a Gnar ban at some point. Not only did Gnar receive immense buffs on 7-13, also happens to be Phaxi's #1 comfort pick. Tahm Kench, though, going to be the final ban away. Elise open again.
I like that. The fact that Roccat now don't have this as a crutch to lean on. I think now you may even have to go the Thresh again. Otherwise, you lose that on the bottom lane. But saying that, Pridestalker had the good emphasis on the early game around Betsy's Vladimir with this Elise. So that may be the route they end up going. Mysterious Monkeys could just take the Tahm Kench here, though. And I think that would actually do a good job of denying Rockat's ability. No, I actually think the Tahm Kench is banned. The Thresh. Thank you.
It's been a long day. It's been a long day.
No, I'm
long day. It's all right. It's all right. So
I even said Tahm Kench is banned. Damn.
It's all right, man. We're into the thick of it now. You know, you think an 8K gold lead means a win. It doesn't. Okay. You think Tahm Kench being banned means he's banned. It does. That one stays constant. All right. But Kalista has now been locked in. Thresh looks like it could just be the fall. Very strong bottom lane. One that Yuki had a pretty solid performance on last time. Has been the priority pick for him in all 3 of these games. Interesting to see what the next option is. Of course, Braum is still on the table.
I think the Jhin, again, you have to look at Jhin. You could go with the Braum as well. Of course, Syndra is Betsy's most played champion, so going away from the Vlad that helped them at least soak up a lot of those team fight wins. Now, if you don't go support here, the support pool gets pinched quite a lot in the second phase. But as well, if you don't pick up the Jhin here, it's likely it'll get banned by Mysterious Monkeys. So it's kind of a trade now on what you want. Wadid's going to show the supports he could play if they let him through.
Please pick me Bard. Oh, you want Alistair too? Yes, please. Anything but Braum. Braum! Locked in. Betsy sentencing Wadid to a game of Braum. Of course, incredibly strong against double AD carries. Something that Mysterious Monkeys have opted for anyway with that Corki lock-in. Now, Cozq, pretty good in some of those mid-game team fights. Pretty bad in the laning phase. We'll see how things change as he has had a few minutes break, a little bit of time to adjust with the rest of the team. We now head into the second ban phase. And just to reiterate, would really love to see a Gnar ban.
Yeah, well, the Jhin ban I think is a good start here because Hjarnan did astronomical amounts of damage in the last game. The Yasuo banned again because Roccat wants to play Gnar. And if Mysterious Monkeys don't ban it here...
Or pick it. They can also pick it.
They could. Yeah, that is the other option. However, that wouldn't utilize their last pick and the ability to counter-pick a matchup here for Kikis, who, in his own words, says there is a matchup for every single champion that currently is played in the top lane. So, if they don't ban Gnar now, then okay. You got your wish, Drakos. Which actually makes the Yasuo
I don't have the same kind of control over the audience that Deficio does, where I can be like, mid lane push, and the audience goes crazy, but Gnar ban, yay!
If Deficio...
Yay! Yes! All right, good. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Unprompted crowd reaction from mid lane push. I mean, he is a man of
I asked and I received. Thank you, fantastic EU LCS audience. We got a little cheer for the Gnar ban. Gragas now banned as well.
I feel like Roccat maybe could have gone Gragas first, and then the Gnar gets banned, and you don't have to ban Yasuo, because Yasuo specifically is a counter to the Gnar. Like, there are a couple of other matchups you can try and play it into, but it's not great. But look, they're not actually utilizing that last pick for Kikis. They've basically taken a lane matchup now. Does Phaxi play the Fiora or the Jax? That's what I want to see. Which of these two matchups into the Renekton are we going to end up seeing? He has been spamming Fiora as well. skill matchup that Fiora takes over later. Try and play Kikis at his own game.
I want to see it. Let's see the all-out battle of top
yes,
laners.
Come on. It's basically...
Fiora.
Ooh. Oh, okay.
Oh, double Yordles.
I had a conversation with Vizichachi after Rift Rivals that Poppy is a legitimate pick right now because of all of the tank itemization nerfs and also the champion pool in top lane. You can run Poppy into Renekton, and she basically will out-tank Renekton, she will out-damage Renekton the later the game goes, and you can basically just hold this Renekton in lane. You don't get punished too difficult in the early onset, and this is where Mysterious Monkeys taking the Renekton may very well punish them.
And I gotta say, this team comp looking very strong for the side of Roccat. Another team fight impacting tank. The hammer coming in from Poppy, knocking out multiple crucial members can be a deciding factor in the game, but the early laning phase could still be rough. Of course, the ability to interrupt dashes will be very nice against the Kalista, against the Corki, against the potential Lantern escapes from the Thresh, the slice and dice from the Renekton. So there's a lot of potential utility here.
We haven't seen this interaction in competitive play because we don't see a whole lot of Poppy recently. I want to see whether, like, surely Amazing's ult gets blocked. Does it count as a dash through Poppy for the benefit of Steadfast Presence? Like, that's, again, something we'll find out as we get into this game, I would imagine. So
something we definitely wouldn't Google right now because we haven't seen these champions in so long.
I mean, my assumption is it does. We'll see whether Amazing does end up going topside and utilizing it on Phaxi, but coming into this now, of course, Phaxi should have side lane control later on. Hjarnan, we didn't talk about the Tristana. Now, Tristana Braum is a very good lane for trading potential between the explosive shot and obviously Braum's ability to defend Tristana. You can push very quickly and not really get punished all that heavily by the Thresh in the bottom lane. So Roccat have a well-rounded composition, as the Mysterious Monkeys, but a lot of it gets blocked by this Poppy.
And additionally, you have the Buster shot from the Tristana, so regardless of the interaction between the Rek'sai and the Poppy, you can see the Tristana just freely able to knock back the Rek'sai once it comes out of the ground. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. I know what you're thinking to yourself. You're thinking, yes, game 3, Roccat, Mysterious Monkeys, everything on the line for both of these lineups, and a very different pick and ban phase this time around. We'll see how that affects the game as we get into it. Blue side, red side, everything else staying the same. A dramatic intro, just to make it extra special.
And after all of the talk about Kikis with his crazy champions, it's Phaxi that brings out the most surprising of the day, perhaps. Have been hearing whispers that Poppy's coming back, as you said, because of the way tanks have fallen off a little bit, and still having damage. Cozq now has to deal with all the members of Roccat entering his jungle.
Thought he was going to go for the runner's bite, get a little bit of those concussive blow stacks down, but just poking at each other, just feeling it out. Now Rek'sai and Renekton will move in on the top side, lay down a little bit of vision, know exactly where that Elise wants to go in the early game.
So just like basically every Renekton matchup, especially into melee, Phaxi will lose the beginning of this laning phase. Like, Poppy's okay. You can trade when you have the buckler shield on a little bit, but Renekton typically will out-damage. But you just farm up. You wait past 6. Whether you're going the Iceborne Gauntlet route, whether you're going the Righteous Glory route, which is the second option I've been seeing in solo queue and a lot of players that have been playing Poppy, you basically just wait and go, okay, now try and push into me later on in this game. And suddenly you out-trade Renekton, he runs out of damage, and you're fine in the laning phase. For every single engage attempt. That's one of the most difficult things about Poppy, is engaging onto the team, as Poppy can just ult them away.
Happy to have so many disengage options. Steadfast Presence as well, Buster shot, the Force of Will. Roccat, if they can group up, if they can make it to the mid game. Similar to last game, it feels like they have an incredible team comp when it comes to forcing these fights. Now, a lot of damage on the side of Mysterious Monkeys as we go later. We saw how much damage that mid lane Corki can do when you get late enough in the game, but can they get to that stage one more time? Will we have another back and forth game, or will someone be able to take a lead and close it out decisively?
So we saw an assisted leash there from Roccat on the bottom side on the red buff, and that's because Pridestalker is desperately trying to get to his blue buff before Amazing can get there. Now, what that cost him is the level 2 in the bottom lane, and the trade already goes in the favor of Mysterious Monkeys here, as Dreams is trying to zone away Wadid and Hjarnan. But look, Pridestalker has already secured his blue buff. Amazing wasn't going for that early invade path that we saw in the previous game, but Pridestalker just wanted to be safe. He has the option of being around topside to counter gank Amazing, but he actually heads to Wolves. And now this could cost them if Amazing ends up ganking Phaxi and Pridestalker isn't there.
This is one of the signature, actually just the definitive way to play around the Renekton. You gank him on the top side. The Elise Renekton, the most terrifying dive duo in the early game. Rek'sai, though, with a similar amount of CC, even if he can't drop tower aggro in the same capacity, but they're not looking to pull the trigger on this play. The minion wave too big, Phaxi a little too comfortable in the early lane.
And look at this, because of the read here that Amazing hasn't shown up in the lane yet, Pridestalker is actually heading bottom side. He's cleared out the Rift Scuttler, knowing Amazing isn't here, and now Wadid wants to go in. This is a good read that Amazing isn't here.
Got some blows, CC now guaranteed to land. They're chaining the CC together. No face call means a dead Dreams and first blood for Roccat.
That was a nice read out of Pridestalker and the rest of Roccat, knowing it's likely they're going topside for this Renekton in the early game. Phaxi plays it safe enough that Amazing doesn't see a window of opening, and Pridestalker manages to not only defend his own jungle, but run right from the Wolves all the way down bottom, catching Rift Scuttler, get into the lane, set up a kill, and this is what we want to see from Roccat, and they've done it now 3 games in a row. This is the growth Roccat have shown with their time off at Rift Rivals.
Yeah, Hjarnan and Wadid, Pridestalker working together to get these early advantages. This Kikis just going to heal up with the Cold Meek off the minions. But the thing I really like about that bottom lane play is that Kalista, Thresh, so hard to gank past level 6 once there's the fake call, so shutting them down early, punishing them for stepping so far forward, because there's no get-out-of-jail-free card right now for Dreams if he overextends like that.
And because of the path that Pridestalker actually took, Amazing doesn't have anything to counter jungle away, so places a ward and backs away.
Oh, that's Caps.
Caps is in the game, it's okay. Subs in.
Surprise!
For Betsy. Very different mid laner, Betsy and Caps. But Betsy has been showing up his early game. That was one of the things we wanted to show you a little bit.
It's definitely true. Struggled immensely against Febivin, doing much better this time around against Cozq. However, this laning phase a little bit more even than the last two have been. Of course, game 1 and game 2, Cozq, massive deficits both times. At least for now, the farming relatively even, although Betsy continues to apply pressure in the mid lane, and now Pridestalker and Wadid are moving in to get vision down in the Mysterious Monkey's jungle. But
so Steadfast Presence should block a little bit here, and look, shield from the Buckler. They got to wait it out.
Stun goes in. Now they're taking tower aggro. Going to try to dash out. Is going to make it to safety. Steadfast comes in.
What? Oh, Phaxi just outplayed Amazing so hard. Amazing is struggling to get into this game, and he tries to burrow out, forgetting he's standing next to a Poppy, who just hits Steadfast Presence and kills him under tower. That's beautiful.
Incredibly well played, and the Mysterious Monkey's desperate to get something down in the early game. We'll watch it one more time, but I thought Steadfast Presence would have come out multiple times before this. They play around it so well, but then you're right, in these final moments, hey.
Nope, not going anywhere, and Amazing.
Actually, oh.
That was painful.
I think that was actually a misclick. I think he was trying to walk out of tower range, and he clicked the tunnel, which pushes him into the wall, which immediately knocks him back and holds him in place. And now Amazing is trying to fight a level 5 Elise. That's a losing battle. Pridestalker not going to continue to push forward, though. His Dreams is already there. Kikis desperate to get something back, but
regardless of if it was a misclick or not, Phaxi was prepared. That's the one thing I guess we got to give him there. Held onto his W for so long, and now he's past that level 6 point. But this is what we wanted to look at for Roccat. This goal difference in the games. They've been leading from the beginning of the game. Just in general against Mysterious Monkeys. Look at it. The way they accelerated up to that 20-minute mark, especially in game 2, was great. It was what Roccat we can criticize them for weeks, is they couldn't play the early game, and suddenly against Mysterious Monkeys they're showing us they can.
And I feel like with Roccat we just do not see that consistency yet, but we can see it here. Maybe hope to find it in game 3. Some games they're brilliant, some games it just falls apart for them. Maybe this is the series where it may be a struggle, but they can pull it together. Betsy, not enough mana to close in that kill on Cozq, and right now things across the map relatively calm. 600 gold lead for the side of Roccat, but it's not breaking the game open yet. And despite everything, Hjarnan's still suffering on the bottom side of the map.
So now Phaxi is into a safe point in the matchup. The bottom lane, Hjarnan picked up a kill earlier, and yes, they're down CS, but I mean, Tristana Braum is a difficult lane to kill. Hjarnan will be 6 in not too long. A couple of minions until he gets it. Actually, is just now getting it off this set of minions in the wave. And suddenly now you can't kill Tristana. Like, there are so few options for Mysterious Monkeys to actually get back in this game. The crowd, however, willing them on. Of course, Mysterious Monkeys, a German organization.
They believe in Yuki and Dreams and Cozq, amazing, and Kikis. Faith is there.
And why not, right? These are players that have shown growth. Week 5 of the LCS, it looked like Mysterious Monkeys were going to take a game off G2. It was only the Baron kind of misplay that cost them. However, now they hit... Ooh.
Level 6, Buster Shot says no.
Says no.
The crowd cheering for Monkeys, cheering for blood.
Yeah.
Cozq. Not actually going to get stunned by the Cozq out of the week, just going to get knocked back. Extending this trade, not the right choice, but doesn't suffer from it in the end. Now does have the cleanse, luckily, to deal with the Elise. I like the defensive option here. It means he does not have the exhaust, however, against the ultimate. Has to be careful on what trades he picks. And Kikis just trying to do whatever he can to accelerate his laning phase. Doing very well this far to get a CS advantage, even after the horrible dive gone wrong on the top side.
So you're talking a little bit about mid lane with the cleanse, the Hex Drinker as well, of course, against Syndra, very necessary. But I think anytime you look across the rift and you see Elise, Syndra, you're like, okay, I can't go heal, I can't go barrier, not going teleport, none of these things. The only thing I can bring is something to keep me alive. But Amazing, on the other hand, has really struggled in this game. Not necessarily just about staying alive, but to get into it at all. He's down in farm, his activity has been unsuccessful. The gank attempt on Phaxi backfiring really hurt Mysterious Monkeys. Pridestalker
flash
just
over.
flashes in. He got it. Wow. That is...
Instant play on the top side. They're going to have to hold that thought. They got the dragon, but now Phaxi trying to get the outplay. Ooh, resets the tower aggro, and finally Mysterious Monkeys are able to find a successful tower dive. They do give up the Drake in the meantime, but maybe the tower can be only theirs in the end. It's the Elise and the Syndra pushing for more. The crowd in a fury over the Mysterious Monkeys.
Roccat at that point showing a lot of bravery, flashing out into the pit for Pridestalker. Manages to secure the Infernal Drake, but we saw the trade on the top side. You alluded to it, Phaxi resetting tower aggro, and now Hjarnan and Wadid are going to even up the tower trade, or they're going to try to, because Dreams is already on his way down to the bottom lane. They cannot really overstay on this. So again, Mysterious Monkeys with a couple of plays trying to just make it back into this game, and they now have the gold lead. So this is the package play out of Cozq. It's about to expire, so he has to go in.
Oh.
Just kind of goes right through the steadfast presence.
We wanted to know. Yeah, uninterruptible on the package.
Exactly.
So not going to get it there in the end with steadfast presence.
And just pushes him aside. Tower aggro gets reset by the double knockup. And then Roccat just end up losing the tower. Finally, they get the bot tower, utilizing this Tristana and the explosive shot onto the tower.
This is the dangerous issues. They've now evened up the towers, but mid lane is also incredibly low. If Roccat ever find a small advantage in a play, they can take down mid as well and find themselves with a gold lead. But that is not the case yet, and for now, things are just about dead even. The Infernal Drake really the only advantage present on the side of Roccat. Kikis, though, hoping to get an advantage back for the team. He can solo this out, but it will take a little bit of time.
Yeah, gonna take quite a long time, but Phaxi is nowhere near. He's down on the bottom side, and Roccat are absorbing the wave on top side with their AD carry. So Mysterious Monkeys can very easily take this. And this is one thing they have to do, is if they want to play the split push style, at some point Kikis is gonna run out of the ability to just stay out on the side lane. He cannot control Phaxi super late into this game, whereas they need to get the Rift Herald through mid tower and try and get bot tower as well, because Mysterious Monkeys need to assume control of more than just the top lane if they want to close this game out.
Patience from Cozq, though, not burning the cleanse or the flash in that exchange. Doesn't have to give anything up. Now Wadid and Hjarnan have their sights set on the top side. Only Yuki there for now. Needs Dreams to back him up as well. May not come out on top in that 2v2 as we get later into the game. But for now, Kalista, an incredibly strong early game champion. Hoping, waiting for a chance to use that Eye of the Herald on the side of Mysterious Monkeys. Need to find greater advantages here in the early game, but for now, just have to wait to see which team is going to outmaneuver, outplay the opposition when it comes to movement across the map. Mid lane pressure just about dead even. Kikis continues to pressure in the bottom side, but Hjarnan's pushing in top as well, so an even divide across the map.
Yeah, now they're going to push and move Hjarnan out of the top side. You can see he's sticking around, but Wadid is getting ready to move to the mid lane if they want to, because look at how low that tower is as well. I'm glad to see Roccat picking up the Tristana. It's one of the picks that throughout Rift Rivals we saw a rise in popularity.
In the bans, mostly. Yeah,
but in the bans a lot, and of course you saw Fnatic playing it. Had a 46% priority increase for Rift Rivals compared to what we were seeing in the EU LCS. And it's a really interesting one because now you just move it between the lanes. Push down the towers, try and get as much as you can, but the danger, of course, is always going to be over-pushing, and then in comes Cozq with the package, and you just attack Hjarnan and Wadid. Difficult, though, with Pridestalker still around in between the lanes.
Hjarnan now pushing forward. Explosive charge there. Pridestalker backing him up as well. Cozq is on the way up, but no package. Betsy. Ooh. Yeah. Nice sidestep from Cozq.
Yeah, Cozq sensed that something was up.
I mean, it also has a ward in the Rift Herald.
That was the other side of it.
The sixth sense.
The ward.
Vision.
Yeah, he had just placed that ward as it happened. But now they've got the root on mid lane, and amazing May Rift Herald, but without the full wave, it is actually kind of just a waste. We might see Amazing head towards the bottom lane and end up using it.
He's going to have to use it soon, however. Looking at that timer.
You can't just 30% do one of those
left.
Awkward throw it in the jungle and it'll go to the nearest lane, which doesn't always work out. But
maybe an option. Ooh. Let us know on Twitter if you know if Steadfast Presence interrupts the Rift Herald charge. That's an interaction I also have not seen.
I would assume no.
And I'm honest, it's not technically a dash, I have been told. Well, Poppy's not even going to show us. Rude. And now the tower is going to be set to fall. Minion wave is there as well, so good use of the Rift Herald coming in from the Mysterious Monkeys. You guys have been whipped into a frenzy, man. There's a lot of Mysterious Monkeys fans out there in the audience.
This is what happens when you have a player that picks a lot of unorthodox stuff like Kikis or gets an extra. Oh. Boop. Oh, massive damage onto that inner tower. Of course, scales with the remaining health on the Rift Herald.
Pokes him. Boops him. Well,
it's gonna hurt.
Interesting, though. I like what Roccat are doing right now, though, putting Hjarnan alone in a side lane to farm up, funneling resources into him, and kind of taking some of those resources away from the Poppy. Poppy feels like she always has value, regardless. Needs a few items to be tanky, but the utility she provides is so much, whereas Hjarnan, you know, Buster Shot's great utility, but he probably wants to deal damage.
This is Hjarnan's tryout for Fnatic. He's like, look, if you need an AD carry after the split, I'm right here, guys.
Whoa, man, Hjarnan is loyal.
I know he is. I'm not. Hey, look. He's just going to make sure that to every prospective employer, you're
he's like, look,
guys,
I can team fight on Jhin. I can push in the side lane. Making a case he wants to be, you know, #1 AD carry EU.
He's like, Cannon's nerfed. Don't worry about that. Nobody's going to end up playing that anymore.
And honestly, kind of surprised to see the Tristana make it through so many of the pick ban phases after the kind of increase in pick ban priority that you mentioned from Rift Rivals. Looks like teams still haven't made as big of an effort to pick her up.
And it's kind of because she doesn't necessarily have the most dominant laning phase at all, but she's fine. She's difficult to kill, generally hard to pressure out in the lane, and then scales very well throughout the game. But until you get that Infinity Edge static shiv point and then the rapid fire cannon after it, you don't necessarily have a lot of bite on Tristana. She's got a great attack speed steroid in her kit on the Q. Just makes you attack at 1 billion miles an hour at super long range later on into the game. But until you get that point, she's a really underwhelming champion to play.
Does have the advantage, though, that reliable attack speed steroid whenever you want it. The rapid fire, 70% increase right now with 3 ranks in it. So that's now with a decent amount of crit chance, you know, you're not going to get the bonus added effects of the rapid fire cannon or static shiv yet, but at least you have the attack speed that they provide so frequently. Cozq taking a big old bit of poke there from the unleashed power. Ocean Drake, though, going to heal up the remaining members of Roccat. Betsy should be okay to stay in that lane, but has to play it safe. Amazing, in trouble, leaping out. Lantern to safety. Mysterious Monkey's going for some cheeky plays in the jungle, but across the board, neither team looking to get too aggressive. Much slower game than we saw in Game 1 or Game 2. Kikis, though, continues to be aggressive.
Kikis pumps Dominus and then runs in. But look, Phaxi's built to at least push the wave back. Sunfire Cape first as itemization means that as long as they're dueling around the minions, he should be able to not die to Kikis and push the wave back out. So Kikis isn't really going to have that much success split pushing like we know he wants to.
I mean, 30 CS lead right now. Clearly, Poppy not comfortable taking too many trades with the Renekton. Some of that, though, is going to be the difference in CS, as so much has been funneled into Hjarnan. Phaxi will move into the jungle. Spot out that the blue buff has been taken away by the Mysterious Monkeys lineup. Small advantages in the favor of Mysterious Monkeys, but haven't been able to get anything greater quite yet. And at least for now, Renekton continues to be a pressure point on the map for the team. But as you mentioned, later and later we go, harder and harder it gets to pressure that Poppy out of lane.
Potentially the old school build coming through for this Poppy. Spirit Visage next in this Roccat. Maintaining control of Mysterious Monkeys. This is a much lower kill game than the previous two. I mean, the last game we saw Roccat having like 24 kills by the end of it all.
We're not at the end yet.
That's true. If anything, the average game time has like 20 more minutes to go on this.
Look, if there's anything I've learned about the third part, specifically from the Matrix, the second game is full of blood. Matrix Reloaded. The third game, nothing happens for about an hour and a half, and then it ends.
Wait. I thought they only made one Matrix movie. Like,
I'm so sorry. Yes, they only made one Matrix movie. You're right.
Great. That's great. Please let me live in this fairy tale land where
I understand.
Nothing ever happened.
Oh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you are ever in the studio and you want to know if Mysterious Monkeys are about to try to kill somebody, listen for the melodic voice of Dreams screaming at the top of his lungs. You know, commands for the team. This guy is super aggressive, super vocal member of the team. When he sees an opportunity, he wants to get it. But Phaxi right now, the one who sees an opportunity. Could have used Steadfast Presence to interrupt there, but not going to waste it.
Ooh, look how far Cozq is away. Does not have the package anymore.
He has been spotted out now by Roccat. So much vision on that topside jungle from Roccat. Have to praise them for throwing so much down there. Baron's about to spawn, and let me tell you, if anyone from the Mysterious Monkeys wants to go near that pit, they are going to know about it.
And it's going to be the same thing again from Roccat. It's all about that teleport from Kikis. Like, and this time Kikis isn't even going to like crush this exchange. Like, he will likely do damage to Phaxi, but Phaxi just kind of blocks, and then Phaxi will push him into a wall.
Oh, actually,
nice
huge
dodge.
sidestep. That is everything in this matchup. The Black Cleaver means not a whole lot of armor. The Dominus ticking down with magic damage. The true damage from the red buff. Amazing on the way in. If that Prey Seeker hits, bye-bye, does not need it.
Phaxi needed to hit that ultimate and wasn't able to get it.
And that is the kill pressure. You can never disrespect a Renekton. My favorite old Renekton adage.
Never smile at a crocodile. And Phaxi learned that the hard way.
My favorite horrible Renekton joke is Renekton walks into a bar. There is no counter. Yeah, all right. It was terrible. It was terrible, but true. Very hard to counter Renekton. Actually, probably impossible for the most part in the laning phase outside of a Gnar.
This is why Deficio gets cheered in Utah.
I learned this a long time I just had production boo me. I had someone specifically push a button to talk in my ear during this game and boo me for that joke.
Good.
Yeah.
They should do that more often.
I need to figure out how Freak does it, because when people boo him, he just like makes him smile, you know? I'm not that kind of guy. Amazing. Also not that kind of guy. He's going to have to run for his life. And for now,
it's okay. We can work on the comedy. This game could turn into a comedy.
I still think I'm hilarious. That's the most important thing for me. If I think I'm funny, I'm going to keep making bad jokes.
Well, see, now that's the key to it, right? Is as long as you believe in yourself.
Probably not, given that I'm here to entertain other people, not myself. But for now, it's okay. It's all right. It's working out. Neither of these teams has a lead. We have a little time to make jokes.
Look, this may very well turn into a comedy of errors and provide the hilarity for us anyway at this point. But at this point, Roccat are doing a good job of at least maintaining the lead. The problem is with that engage on the bottom side from Amazing and Kikis, Roccat couldn't pick up anything in response. And that was what happened in game one that allowed Mysterious Monkeys to come back into the game. Was Roccat without the Tahm Kench, we're just like, oh, we can't actually punish you, and we can't actually get any kind of engage. And Roccat have got the same situation. They got great disengage. Not so much on the map plays, the engage that we saw in game 2 out of Roccat.
And now as we look across the map, we have to keep in mind the Renekton pressure continues to go up. Poppy has been buying magic resistance. It does not help in this matchup outside of the Dominus and a Titanic Hydra being completed. Does mean that Kikis can no longer animation cancel some of his abilities, but it does mean that he has much more damage, and it makes that Ruthless Predator so much stronger. As they are going to pick up that Cloud Drake on the side of Mysterious Monkeys. The one Drake in the favor of the team.
It's all right. Kikis must have just practiced Renekton on that patch that made all of his animation cancels wonky anyway. So he's like, I don't need them. I'm just going to build Titanic.
It's not the end of the world. Titanic probably more damage in the end.
Means that these later game trades are going to be very long out in the side lane. I mean, we saw one go in Kikis' way that was a little quicker than I thought it was going to be. Don't worry, I won't lump you in with my assessment of that.
All I'm saying is, the more health the Renekton builds, the more damage Poppy does to him. Think about that, Kikis. Should have just gone full AD.
Ghostblade.
The hard counter.
Duskblade.
Next patch.
Next patch.
Be prepared, folks. If you haven't experienced it in solo queue, build Duskblade every game. Doesn't matter what champion. Doesn't matter. Insanely strong item.
See, that was the key secret. We released Kayn and everyone's like, wow, he's broken. And we're like, now take this. The key to victory.
Now every champion's broken. But mostly Nocturne, Quinn, Cozq, anything with stealth, Talon, yeah. Lee Sin, Pantheon.
Jin's good.
Anyone who uses lethality. S-tier champion. All right, but that's enough about 7-14. We are on 7-13, and a Baron is being started. Mysterious Monkeys have set their eyes on the prize.
Roccat Line in any position to contest this. Look at it. They had a great vision a couple of minutes ago. Here comes the teleport through.
Yeah, but that's 3K. Then there's a Kalista. Yeah, there's no way you're taking this one. Bye. Phaxi goes over the wall. Maybe they're going to try to start a fight. Knocks multiple people up. They all leave. Happy to trade their flashes for the Baron. Hjarnan now leaping forward. Hook's not going to connect. Mysterious Monkeys walking away 5 members strong with a Baron, and Roccat caught sleeping in this third game.
I'm not sure Phaxi maybe thought that through, because he charged the ult a little bit more than just the initial knock-up. And yes, a couple of Mysterious Monkeys members flashed out, but he actually helped 1 or 2 out of the pit, I believe. But, I mean, Roccat just did not react. They had the ward behind the pit, but no real vision. And then against this Kalista, you have to be careful that it doesn't get rushed down. And then suddenly you lose a Baron, and everything that Roccat did early well in this game has all gone away, and they have slowed down, they've stopped making plays, and Mysterious Monkeys will capitalize every single time that happens.
It's just like game 1 and game 2 as well. We're seeing a trend over the course of this one. Roccat consistent at finding leads, consistent at finding some early game advantages, maybe being ahead on early game plays, but not consistently able to execute. Hook does connect on Hjarnan. Not going to follow it up because Wadid is there to block the damage. The rest of the team off in their respective side lanes. This is the 1-3-1 coming in from the Mysterious Monkeys. Kikis on the bottom side. Cozq on the top. The rest of the team taking up the middle lane.
And without the Tahm Kench, it'll be super difficult to actually punish Kikis, because look, Kikis sits back in the lane until he knows it's safe. So Phaxi shows, but Hjarnan has to go topside. He has to react to another lane, and now Kikis just pushes up to the tower, and there's nothing really that Roccat can do to stop this, because as good as Phaxi will be at absorbing the push, look, Kikis has a 2-level lead on Phaxi right now, so he can absorb, and that's it.
I did say health would give Poppy more damage. Kikis, also realizing this fact, instantly buys a BF sword. Now, that is what Guardian Angel builds out of now, so I can't be excited for a Bloodthirster. But still some aggressive itemization from Kikis nonetheless. Yuki and Dreams taking up home in the middle lane. Cozq playing pretty confident on the bottom side. Baron empowered minions making this one pretty easy, and just an excellent disengage coming in from Dreams on that Lantern to make sure Yuki's not going to get caught out.
Yeah, Wadid had used his ultimate. Actually flashed and exhausted at the same time, so that's a lot used by Wadid's Braum. Basically the whole toolbox empty now. All you've got is that Unbreakable, and the tower goes down top.
Cannon minion means there's really nothing Syndra could have done. It's a matter of time. Hjarnan tries to take this opportunity to make a play on the bottom side of the map, but Roccat are starting to fall apart.
Still waiting on this Tristana to have that full damage. Like, Kalista is as powerful right now as this Tristana. It takes a lot longer. Kikis trying to get the flank off here.
Tier 2 down. Phaxi on the backside, ready to start to play. Mysterious Monkeys not going to go for anything aggressive here. They have a 4K gold lead on the back of that Baron. Things looking good for the team after what was, in some ways, a rough early game. But across the map, things start to be working out now.
And the difference between this game and game 1 and 2, Betsy is not fed. Hjarnan is not fed. Like, those were the tools that at least Roccat had, that if they could start a fight, would put the fight in their favor. But right now, they haven't really accrued any kind of a lead through their carries. And Mysterious Monkeys have gone from what was a close game with a couple of 100 gold lead through this Baron buff, now a 4,000 gold up on Roccat. And Roccat have done nothing over the last 3 minutes to try and contend against it.
Not a whole lot to do. Waiting for the Baron buff to tick away. Will fade now, and that means maybe this is the opportunity for Roccat to fire back. 2 items on the Syndra, a little bit of tank shredding stats as well, and now 3 items for the AD carry. Cozq moving forward, threatening with the package. Phaxi can't afford to overcommit here, but has to be ready to start a fight. Is going to get the knock into the wall onto the Renekton. Is going to get hooked up and deleted immediately. No one is here from Roccat. Phaxi dies alone. And Hjarnan's just going to push in the mid lane in the meantime.
Yeah, Hjarnan was running mid before Phaxi even really engaged on that. Like, that's just a miscommunication out of the team. Phaxi is not strong enough to do anything there. Like, Poppy as a champion won't do anything. Flash in on forward. Betsy.
Stun gonna get knocked out the chain CC. No chance for Betsy to respawn. Mysterious Monkeys are hungry for blood, and they're moving for a little bit more. Wadid gets taken down. The Lantern to save the day, but Amazing still going to drop. Cozq, they're gonna take down the inhibitor. They win the fight as well. A minion wave is coming in. So many teams have gotten greedy this series. Will it be the same story for Mysterious Monkeys? Will they go for the end here? Can they do it?
Pridestalker.
The crowd is behind them. Pridestalker is holding on to hope, but 4 members strong, a creep wave backing them up. TP from Kikis, they want to keep the minion alive. Pridestalker goes down. Mysterious Monkeys, 29 minutes. No more back and forth, they say. No more mid-game fights. We are going to close it out. Mysterious Monkeys move in. They take down Roccat, and they take the series.
This series started with a bang and ended with a whimper from Roccat. They had the lead in the 3 games, but Mysterious Monkeys, the tenacity to hold on, turn the games back in their favor, and constantly play through this side lane split push threat. Like Cozq, Kikis, both of them very formidable out on the side lane, and I mean, Roccat just could not contain them. And Mysterious Monkeys pick up a very important series win.
Very odd series, Stress. Very back and forth. Both teams very even in so many regards. Mysterious Monkeys, though, the veteran shot callers on that lineup pulling their weight. The discipline to keep the 1-3-1 up over the course of Baron, to get a larger lead, and to go for the finish, to go for the throat, to close out the series when so many fights before had thrown it back in the favor of Roccat. It's a good look for the team. Amazing. Debating whether or not to step over the camera cable. He will do it. He has the confidence.
We talked about Roccat needing more picks, needing to show us more than just late game scaling. And I can't criticize them for trying the early game. And the early game actually looked better. Like, I think it's worth highlighting there were improvements out of Roccat, but they still don't know how to close these games, even with leads, and that is a big problem.
And Elise, early game pick for sure, but Poppy's going to lose the early lane to Renekton. Yep. Braum and Tristana, just with the sheer strength of Kalista, Thresh in the early game, the additional range advantage, that's a losing lane matchup as well. And mid lane is actually really even in so many regards. I just feel like Roccat did not set themselves up for success in this draft phase. And while the potential for team fights mid to late game, the potential for the Syndra and Tristana to sit untouched with a Poppy and a Braum making sure no one could get there, it's there. It's possible, but it just did not happen. They did not get to the stage of the game where Renekton was no longer a massive threat to their back line.
Yeah, and Mysterious Monkeys game after game highlighted what Roccat turned around with Wadid's Tahm Kench, and then suddenly no more threat on denying the side lane push. I mean, Mysterious Monkeys seem like a very difficult team to actually turn around when there's nothing like a Tahm Kench available.
Definitely is the case. Well, Mysterious Monkeys took down Roccat in this series. Let's leave it to the Analyst desk to wrap it up.
Thank you very much, Drakos. Well, it was the most convincing game of the 3 for Mysterious Monkeys.
And people are happy they stuck around.
I hope they're really... My toss was longer than the game. And it was with a standard pick for Kikis. How much should we read into that?
Well, I mean, he played really well in the side lane, early laning phase. Not quite the cleanest of dives coming out from Amazing, but regardless, he got to a point where he was pretty much unstoppable off on a side lane. The rest of the team played very slow, very passive. They respected it very well. And overall, we saw, for the most part, a very clean game from the Mysterious Monkeys, aside from this early game advantage.
Again, Roccat is able to make something happen early now. That's 3 games in a row that they do that. Of course, unfortunate that they don't manage to follow it up, because even with a good scaling AD carry, if they get a bit later in the game, they probably have a bigger chance. So it's kind of demotivating for them.
Yeah, unfortunately for Roccat, they're just... It comes to this thing that we talked very much about earlier on, where they're not really looking at the map and they're not looking for options as to what else they could be doing moving on from this point, right? So they get an early lead, they don't try and push it that much harder. Like, they have a Syndra, they have a Tristana, their Siege is really good, their Baron threat is really good, and they don't really play around it.
Yeah, indeed, we see it there, though. Goal difference at 20 on average over 3 games, plus 2.5k, 2,500 rather. And on average, in all games until now, they were down 2,000 gold at 20 on average. So it is so unfortunate that such a swing and such good play in the end doesn't net it for them. So if you look at kind of the causes, Betsy on Vladimir, awesome. It works well in the team fights, but we do see when he goes to these other picks like a Syndra and a LeBlanc, it is very hard for them, it seems, to snowball that lead.
I don't even think like it's the picks that are necessarily the problem, because they have Elise, they have Triss, they have Syndra, and they have Poppy, right? So you have flanking potential, you have great pick opportunities. There's so much available in that composition that they could make things happen with the early lead that they got. And at the 20-minute mark, when they still hold the lead, Baron becomes a big obvious point that they play around. They did it great in game 1, getting deep vision, trying to look for catches. They played smart, but just coming into game 3, they just weren't being proactive in their thinking. They weren't sitting there saying to themselves, what can we do now? What is the next option? What should we look to try? They just played a little too reserved, too scared. They were like, we scale, we have Triss, we're fine. And the Mysterious Monkeys are like, they have no vision around Baron. We're just going to do the Baron, and no one's going to answer it all.
Yeah, it's that unfortunate for Roccat. Hope they can remedy that in the next couple of weeks. But for the side of the Mysterious Monkeys, they seem to be on a bit of a roll. They're finding their form, and even though these wins aren't clean,
a little up and down,
these are the kind of victories that you do have to rank up. I mean, versus these opponents. However, do you think that they have what it takes to, if not the safe spot, have their eye on playoffs in this first split?
It's difficult, because I think right now Group B is looking much stronger than Group A is. The fact that both Vitality and Monkeys are improving from week to week, whereas Roccat and NIP are seeming a little inconsistent and are still sitting down the bottom of the group, just goes to show how much competition we're seeing in Group B right now. And depending on how the series goes on later today, Mysterious Monkeys are well within their rights, close enough to be able to catch up to Vitality, but it will be a difficult climb.
It will be difficult. We will get to talk to some of the members of Mysterious Monkeys, because both Amazing and Cozq will be joining us on the desk for the rest of the day. And Amazing is also the player of the series. It's hard for me to pinpoint exactly. I think his Lee Sin performance in Game 2, you could really discern some moves where he absolutely made the team fight happen and go in Mysterious Monkeys' favor.
And even in Game 1, where his Gragas, he had some fantastic body slams. His ultimates were amazing. I was just really impressed with what he was doing in so many of these extremely chaotic team fights that were big contributing factors to enable Mysterious Monkeys to be able to get themselves the win. Honorable mention to Dreams as well. I feel like that he did have a good performance. His Thresh and Braum were impressive throughout the series, but really the big turning factor for a lot of those fights was Amazing.
And Amazing and Kikis together, I think we can leave it in the middle. If the extraordinary picks from the side of Kikis are doing more good than bad, I think in the end they're winning the series, and they have kind of a special effect that they can throw into the mix and keep the opponents guessing. So good on that for Mysterious Monkeys. We have more League of Legends coming up with Fnatic and Vitality facing off in our second series. Stay with us.
Shield from the buckler, they gotta wait it out.
Stun goes in, now they're taking tower aggro, gonna try to dash out, is gonna make it to safety, said that.
Oh, Amazing!
Comes in.
What?
Oh, my life.
That is...
Instant play on the top side, they're gonna have to hold that thought, they got the dragon, but now Phaxi trying to get the outplay. To respawn, Mysterious Monkeys are hungry for blood, and they're moving for a little bit more. Wadid gets taken down, the Lantern to save the day, but Amazing still going to drop. Cozq, they're going to take down the inhibitor. They win the fight as well.
Good shit.
No more back and forth, they say. No more mid-game fights. We're going to close it out. Mysterious Monkeys move in.